Would I eat with a unibrow? Like, I don't know. Hello you guys, welcome to another video. This video is going to be a continuation of a series that I want to start about talking about my favorite brands and then how I was able to use said brands to kind of find like my authentic style with my wardrobe. Today we're going to be talking about CELINE. Is it corny that I'm wearing the brand while talking about it? I mean, it's showing like good sportsmanship, you know? Now there wouldn't be a CELINE video without giving an introduction to the current creative director. And this video is really going to be focusing more on the creative director than the actual brand CELINE, if that makes sense. Sorry, not sorry. Because in 2018, that is when CELINE, which is a fashion designer, became a creative director of CELINE, which I honestly had no idea about. Because again, I didn't really get into fashion until like 2019. And if you saw my previous video, YSL was that girl for me in 2019. So the way CELINE got into my radar is because, again, I was a YSL girl. Like, that's all I lived and breathed, you know? Like, when it came to, like, aesthetics, fashion inspo, and, like, all the glamorous stuff, like, YSL, like, yeah. But the way CELINE got in my radar was because I am a fan of Blackpink. And I saw that Lisa from Blackpink became CELINE's first ever global ambassador for the brand. So when I heard that Lisa was like the new face of CELINE, at the time, I was like, okay, I didn't really hear much noise from CELINE. Like, I knew about the brand, I knew it existed, but I never really like saw anything that was like poppin'. Like, I didn't ever really hear anything about the actual brand. So when I heard that Miss Lisa was gonna be the face, I was like, what, like, hello, this is like a really big name being associated with the brand. I was like, okay, let me look into this brand. Let's see what's going on. Like, what makes this brand worthy of her endorsement? So that's when I went on their Instagram, and then I was kind of surprised by the branding that they had on every single post. And it wasn't that long ago that I noticed that I think it's meant to look like Polaroids, which I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit because I was like, oh, okay. It's kind of obvious now that I see it, but like, whatever. I feel like at the time, most brands didn't really like have white borders. I remember like in the Tumblr era, white borders were really like a thing. But you know, like 2018, 2019, I feel like most like influencers and like fashion brands were kind of ditching the white borders, but I thought it was interesting how this brand kind of kept it going, and they still do to this day. And then I caught up with their fashion shows that they have on their YouTube channel, and I was like this is fire as fuck. Like, the aesthetic was just like so Parisian, so like effortless chic, very 70s, very much rock star inspired, but still very elegant and classy. So that's when I did my research and was like, okay, who's the creative director? Like, what's going on? And that's when I got introduced to the brilliant CELINE. Which apparently he is either loved or hated in the fashion industry, which like I can respect, you know? Like, that's how you know you have like a clear vision and perspective. It's like when people either like ride or die for it or ditch you, you know? So when doing my research on this man, that's when I peeped like, oh, okay, he's like low-key the reason why Saint Laurent is like the Saint Laurent it is today. He was able to commercialize and really gave Saint Laurent the success and the aesthetic that it had. Now, don't get me wrong, Anthony Vaccarello is doing amazing stuff at YSL. Like, he's really made it his own brand. He's really like showed his own identity with it. Like, I do see Vaccarello in the YSL today, you know? So no shade. But I do personally feel like, and I feel like many would agree, that YSL wouldn't really have the aesthetic it has today if it wasn't for what CELINE put in back in, what, 2016? No, that's when he left. 2012, I think, is when he got into YSL. I don't know, girl, I'm not a history book. And because of like there was kind of like controversy of like, with both who's gonna take over Saint Laurent once CELINE left, and there's other drama with CELINE joining CELINE. But I really do hope there's like no beef between Vaccarello and CELINE, just because like they're both like 100% the reason why I have my style today. They both equally influenced me. Like, they are both equally the reason why I love fashion, why I have my own personal aesthetic today, and they both do continue to do so, so love for both of them. But with that being said, Eddie Salon really did give YSL like that 70s rock star grunge kind of vibe that like sold really well, and he continued to do so with Celine as well. And I'll never forget reading an article that literally said like Eddie Salon is the Donald Trump of the fashion industry, especially with how he transformed Celine. So like, big stepper. He's a big stepper, you know. And like, to be fair, he truly did. Like, he really has like his own style, his own perspective on like the world and how people dress, and he doesn't change it at all, no matter in which maison he's in, which I respect like immensely. Like, babe, if you have your lane, like, and like you're thriving in it, like, just, you know, like, keep it going. So for a quick little fashion recap, Phoebe Philo was the creative director of Celine, accent on the E, for like 10 years. My girl had a cult following. The Phoebe Philo Celine girl, they were very chic, very professional, and her designs gave Celine a very intelligent, fashion-forward aesthetic. Then Eddie Salon came in and really just stirred it all up. And just like Phoebe Philo, Eddie Salon also did have a cult following who were very excited to see what he was gonna do with Celine. So my king got a lot of criticism for his spring 2019 show, which was his debut collection with the brand. On one side, a lot of people were very heartbroken because, you know, they were like big Phoebe Philo fans, and they were like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And on the other side, there were many people calling this collection like a Saint Laurent .2 because he showed his like signature silhouettes and styles. Like, he showed like what he was known for, which I feel like was a really bold move because it's showing like, yeah, like things are gonna change around here. It's like, again, like he showed like his classic references, the aesthetics he always goes to for inspiration. So it really was like a 180 for the brand itself. And since then, I've just been following the brand. His actual runway shows are so like alluring. And not to be like an ass kisser, but like I love like the silhouettes, the soundtracks, the set design, the attitude. Each show has sort of like an introduction that create suspense for what we're about to see for the collection. And I just love how he really takes the creative direction and production of the shows to like a whole new level of like theatricality. Because with all those elements, it feels like a performance, like it feels like a concert almost. And what makes me personally obsessed with his looks is just how he pairs casual pieces with very dressed up and elegant ones. He'll mix party pieces with like what I would consider like very conservative, basic pieces, like styling an embroidered, crystallized cardigan with a nice little casual like summer blouse or an embellished jacket with a cropped t-shirt, you know? Or even a dress paired with a hoodie. Like, just like the way he does that, like those, like the juxtaposition of like two different vibes put together is just like, it really does it for me. And from his earlier shows, I loved how casually elegant the looks were. The blouses, the jackets, the boots, like they were all elevated pieces that could be used on the everyday, you know? Now, what made this brand have a literal chokehold on me were the films. Like, to me, the one good thing that came out of that freaking pandemic were the Eddie Salon, like, Celine films. Like, I cannot even begin to explain how much of, like, an escapism his runway shows are for me. Like, the editing, the soundtrack, the walk, again, the attitude with the models, the scenery, the clothes, like, obsessed. And I feel like with those films, he did introduce a new energy for Celine. It's for sure for, like, a younger demographic. Like, with the Dancing Kid and the Monaco show, heavily being influenced with the rise of TikTok, you really see the demographic change from, like, the previous shows to then the runway shows that are like I would consider the films. And with that kind of vibe being introduced, it really changed like the definition of like the cool French girl for me. Because before, when I would think like, okay, cool chic French girl, I would think like a girl pairing like a white t-shirt with like black trousers and a blazer with like sneakers, or like I picture a girl with like an oversized button up with trousers, maybe a little Chanel ballet flat, which I personally find very classic, but very boring. The new Celine is still very casual, but very elevated and like almost overdressed, but in a way where you don't look out of place, if that makes sense. Because we know we have no shame in being overdressed over here. And we still have the slim-on signature styles like the embroidered jackets, mock neck blouses, tailored jackets. And the new Celine girl, she's also like a chill yet confident girl. Laid back, but like still walked with purpose. And their menswear is like really cool too. Like each film has like a different vibe to it, but you still see classic pieces put into each collection, which I really like. I feel like Anthony Vaccarello and Eddie Slimane really know how to design pieces that are timeless but not boring. It's still, they make pieces where it'll still fit in with the trends, but you can literally wear it like 3 seasons from now, fuck it, years from now, and it'll still be stylish. It won't look dated, which is very rare to see nowadays, just because with like Instagram, TikTok, we go through trends so fast. The trends are literally like 0 to 100 at this point, where it's like if you try to keep up, like you just need to constantly be buying and throwing stuff away. But they know what they're doing and they do it very well. But yeah, that's why I just love Celine. I literally go through their Instagram when I'm bored, their YouTube channel. I go to their Twitter because like they post the same pictures they post on Instagram, but like, you know, Twitter has like the better quality pictures. I'm always so excited to see what Celine comes out with, and yeah, I'm excited to see where Eddie Slimane continues to take the brand. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am so excited to continue to kind of film this series and then get into how I was able to find my authentic style and be confident with every single piece that I have in my wardrobe, and teach you guys the same thing. I'll see you guys soon.